Lovely. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and welcome to Cannon Fodder with your host, Glenwyn Guna Matters, and my two favorite people, John De Giza and Seema. Happy New
Hi.
Year to
Gooners.
everybody out there,
Happy New Year.
and hope this
Happy New Year,
2024
Gooners.
will be a good year.
It will
Seema,
be.
how
Hi.
are you, lady?
Yes, I'm good. I'm good, thank you. Even after our losses, I'm still good. It's because you cut out the social media. You don't go down on that route. You don't listen to anyone else. You
Yeah, you
just
don't, yeah?
yeah, you don't. You don't.
John De Giza, how are you, mate?
Happy New Year. Good to see you both again. And I had the pleasure of going to Arsenal Sunday. Sadly, we lost, but I met Seema for the first time and friends and family, which was very nice. And Alfie and Paul. And so I had a great day. By the result, I had a lovely day. It's all
All
about
Mm,
right.
the Arsenal to me. Win or lose, hit
yeah,
the
yeah.
booze.
Yeah.
Well, we got to see another Arsenal legend, Thomas Vermaelen, but I didn't get a
Oh,
photo
we
with him. So yeah,
Now, my
Okay.
mate
yeah,
told me he was there. As we went
yeah,
downstairs, he said, "You've
yeah,
just." This was on the way out. He said,
yeah,
you've just missed Thomas Vermaelen, and I think the
yeah.
goalkeeper was there as well. One of the old,
Lehman.
it
Oh, I
might
didn't
have
see
been.
him. No, I didn't see him. I saw
Oh,
Thomas
I
Vermaelen.
didn't see
Yeah,
him. I
yeah.
didn't see any players, Glenn Wynn, but I bumped into the main man, Mr. Dean,
Mr.
by
Dean.
accident, just walking through the corridor. I went, "There's the main man," and he turned around, looked straight at me, and said, "Yeah, you're the main. You are the
Oh,
main
funny
man."
how he knows. Funny how he
You,
knows you were talking about him.
innit?
yeah.
I know he did. Funny thing was, no one kind of recognised him. Do you know what I mean?
No,
He kind
yeah,
of looks like a little old boy, but he's
yeah.
Mr. Arsenal, man. He should be back
Mr.
there, you know.
Arsenal. Yeah, I was about to say Mr. Arsenal.
He bought
Oh,
Wenger there, Burkamp, Henry, a lot, didn't
yeah, yeah.
he? It
All
was
right,
quite sad to see him actually
Yeah,
walking through like that.
let's get into it, man.
let's get
Yeah,
Here's
into
man.
a
it.
yeah, belated Happy New Year, Glenn Seaman and John. Same to you, Emerson, and I hope you're well, my man. All the best for you on this year.
Yeah.
Happy New Year, Emerson. Top man.
Happy New Year, Emerson. See you on Friday.
Oh, you're going to the youth game.
I'm going to go to the under 21s. Yeah,
Okay, lovely, lovely.
yeah.
All right, let's get into it. There is it. Arsenal has lost three on the bounce. So, what is it down to? What is it down to, Seema? Let's start with you, seeing that you are so happy even though we lost.
What is it down to? They're finishing. It is just, I mean, the play is just, they're playing well. They're playing really well. Okay. So it's not even like we can complain that they weren't even, they were just atrocious. They weren't. They're just not finishing. So something's going on in that box that just doesn't let them, I don't know. I mean, especially the Liverpool game. They were just, I mean, forget the West Ham because that really wound me up, that one. And, you know, constantly, I mean, it just felt like, hey, let's give it to Rice. He can score. Let's give it to Rice. He's not the bloody goal scorer, Let him
Yeah,
do what he's good at. You concentrate at, scoring. But, Liverpool, it was just, they just could not finish it. And, like, it was like they were trying to, like, get the open net, and even with the open net, they weren't even, the crossbar, it's just, oh, yeah. It's the finishing that's just really doing it. And whether
Johnny's.
it's because they're trying to pick up people, to pass it to them or what, there's something there.
Yeah, John, do you agree with Seema? Is it really just the finishing?
It seems to be, doesn't it? They're getting so many chances. I mean, West Ham, 33 chances or something, 33 shots. We was all over them, you know what I mean? We were literally all over them. Any other day of the week, I think we win the game quite easy, but they got a goal. Confidence goes down. Then they nick another goal. Pretty much like the Liverpool game, but regards what I see the Liverpool game, I will say this, we was all over them in the first half. We went for it. We were taking our chances. It probably would have been a different ball game, but we didn't take our chances. Liverpool sussed us out. They
Yeah.
brought on substitutes that could make a difference and did make a difference. We ain't got anyone that's coming on hurting anyone now, what I can see. Mixing
Yeah.
it up. Martinelli changed it around a bit, but they got the goals right at the end, Liverpool. They played that way. They were just going to beat us on the counter attack.
Well,
And
the thing is, John.
You go on,
Sorry,
mate.
go on, finish off. Yeah, no, finish
I was,
off. Finish off.
I was going to say, the second goal, it was all over, done and dusted, weren't it? That didn't really matter. But once
Well, no, it was over after the first goal because there was
That's
no
what
way
I
they were
mean.
going to go for a draw. They were not going to go for a draw.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah.
But let's start with the West Ham goal, the West Ham game quickly. I mean, you alluded to the West Ham game, and somewhere along the line, you say it's about finishing. Yes, we didn't score a goal, but also I believe there's more to it. Is the guys really sticking to the guns of what Arteta is wanting them to do? Because last season, if you look at both Saka and Martinelli, they took on players. This season, I've not seen anything close to taking on a defender. So surely there must be some sort of instruction that comes with laying a bit off the attack, because you left, right back. That is how we play. I mean, it's a low block. So where are you getting penetrating the defense? So surely it can't just be the finishing. There is decision-making problems in that team as well, I'm sure, Simo.
Well, it kind of does feel like that. They are very hesitant in going in for those tackles. We saw that blatantly in those games. Even with Havertz, this time with Liverpool, same thing. He just didn't want to go in. And why is it also, the other thing is that why in every game, there's always two defenders on Saka, but we never have two defenders on, the other team's players. Why? Why is it not going that way? We let Salah go in that first game against Liverpool. We let him go and get that goal. It was only Zinchenko that was just basically marking him. It was one-on-one. Whereas anytime Saka attacked, in this game, Liverpool didn't attack Saka. They didn't take his legs out. A couple of times they started it, but then they sort of backed off. But whereas, in the previous game, they were just taking Saka out like anything. To a point that, we thought, oh God, he's going to get injured. So, that is that knock-on effect with confidence. And the same thing with Martinelli. They don't want to get them injured now at this point in the season. And then we don't have anybody, like 5 games down the road still.
So still, again, is that down to the instruction? Is the manager telling them not to go to the byline? Because have we seen Saka or Martinelli consistently going to the byline and putting a diagonal cross or down the middle past the keeper? I mean,
See, I'm
we've
not
got
sure.
goals.
Why would
goals like that last season? Exactly my point. So something there.
Yeah.
In that, there is something else wrong besides just not taking it to the net. You know what I mean?
Or they're just not planning the game plan against the opponents.
So
it's like they've seen the previous video, they go to that game plan, but then when the team turn up, it's a different, it's a different ball game. That's
insubordination, isn't it, John? That's insubordination.
I think they're lacking a bit of confidence, and the pressure's getting to them, innit? And not only that, I don't know if they are comfortable with the style of play that they're playing, the system that they put in. If I just go back to the Liverpool game, when I see that team sheet come out and I see Havertz was up front, now I've protected him all season. I'm like, no, mate, you're not a centre forward. Why is he up front? Why is Eddie? He's meant to be. Let's get it straight now. Now Jesus is out. Eddie's meant to be our number one. He's meant to come in and replace him. Why was he not the number one? against
But
Liverpool.
there's still Trossard. I mean, when Trossard has played up front, I mean, John.
Yeah.
I think Colin made a sort of observation that Trossard has played up front and scored goals in that position. So yes, it is a taller guy in Havertz, but you know what? We need to get to a point of confidence. We need to get to a point of scoring consistently. And I mean, we will all agree that Trossard brings that to the table, isn't it?
Yeah.
He does, right? But I think, you know what? I think there is an issue here. Mikel Arteta is not giving them the confidence he's meant to give them. He's making them unsure of themselves. He's not giving them, right, lads. Yeah, all right, we didn't beat West Ham. Forget it. Let's go again. Same thing again. Go straight at it. Go straight for Fulham. I mean, we 1-0 up again.
At Fulham, yeah. And we gave it away.
Yeah, we blew that game.
See, I know that we're talking about Havertz, right? Not having the confidence, but this time round in the Liverpool game, I noticed that Kiwior was not confident in what he was doing.
I don't think Kiwior was mentally ready for the Liverpool game. I don't think he was.
Because I was watching, because what I tend to do is when they do the set pieces, I watch their set piece trainer and I watch him, and he was trying to tell Kiwior what to do, and Kiwior wasn't understanding. You know, the gestures that were coming were like this. You know, it was just he wasn't in tune with what was going on.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing, Seema. Sorry, John. So in the training, there should be a gesture for what is going to happen in a set piece. You either put both hands up, you know where you're going to go with that, left hand up or 3 fingers or whatever the case may be. There is some gestures in training. So to do that on the day doesn't seem that they have the confidence in the players they're fielding. I mean, yes, we have Zinchenko with a knock or illness. So who's next best to get in there? It's Kiwior. But
I mean, he's been pretty good otherwise, Glenn. He has been good. It's just that this game he was not confident.
Yeah.
On Sunday.
No, definitely. He wasn't mentally ready. He was not. Sorry, John.
Yeah.
Maybe Kiwior was giving instructions he wasn't comfortable or familiar with. So you can't blame him. Same as Kai Havertz. I didn't think he had a bad game.
Yeah.
But with the Arsenal, we can't have players that can't have, they've just not right.
Especially when you're 1-on-1.
We want, like Ian Wright said, we want strikers with a killer instinct, a killer.
Yeah.
Look, you're talking about confidence, and I still remain, and I made a video earlier on my own channel, is that there is decision-making lack. Because if you take the chance that Reiss Nelson had, he went to the byline. If you look at there's footage that shows Saka is all alone. The goalkeeper is away from his post. There's only a defender next to the post, and there's a defender, say, a few yards next to Saka. If he crosses that ball into Saka, that's goal.
Yeah.
Saka won't miss from an open post. And then when Saka won the ball on the right hand side and he passes to what's his face, Havertz. Havertz had just to lay it off again to Saka. That's goal, but he took a shot instead. And again, Reiss Nelson had the ball. He had open post to go for. The ball was blocked. The ball came to Odegaard. Odegaard blasted again the crossbar. All he had to do to make a decision and lay it off again. Saka's next to him with nobody in him. Give it to the player. Be unpredictable. You know what I mean? You are lacking confidence, but you are still not making the right decision. So
the right decision.
Now my question is that a coaching problem?
100%. They've got a man management and a coaching problem happening right now. I don't know what's going on. Like I don't know who gives the instructions. It should be Arteta, but I think he's getting people in his ear holes. You know what I mean? And This season particularly, it seems he's tried this new system. He's sticking with it. He's lost a couple of games, and it seems like he's querying himself. And this is reflected in the way that the players are playing. They're
Yeah.
unsure of this system now. But
Yeah.
on saying that, Saturday or Sunday, Saka, I could clearly see him. He didn't look half the man he was before. He looks deflated. He doesn't look that interested. And when the shots he had, he should have scored at least one. Do you know what I mean? He
Yeah.
should have at least one of them chances put away. And he just didn't look like the crosses. The crosses they're putting over. No one's getting their head on them either. Do you know what I mean?
Or they're going
to me, it's a
too
waste of
long.
time.
Or they're too long.
Yeah.
There's just that crossing it over. No one's getting near there. Maybe that's what Chiori was meant to come up for. I don't know, but that plan they had with the crosses was terrible. It just never happened.
Saka had an opportunity, Simo, where he used his leg or his foot and he put it over the bar. Pardon me, that ball was high enough for him to head it into the post. Don't you? I don't know how close you were to that sort of post, but to me it looked like he had a clear header opportunity to put it in the net.
Wasn't that the one in the second half?
That's it came from Havertz and it went over the post with his left foot. He almost jumped. He almost jumped to get the ball over. So again, a decision-making problem.
Sorry, I was laughing earlier because a lot of because I've been on social media today. A lot of what they've been saying is that maybe he should just go back to his normal hair. Because it seems that every time an Arsenal player colours their hair, their form goes off. Look at Ben White and his white hair. He's gone back to his dark hair and he's gone back to normal. So maybe Saka should get rid of the blonde and go back to normal. So they might play better. I don't know. Shall we put it down to that?
A lot
Probably.
of people in them white kits, but they played all right.
Yeah, exactly. That's what others are saying as well. The white kit did it,
Yeah.
What I didn't like about the white kit, and I don't know if it affects the players.
Numbers.
You cannot see them numbers.
Yeah.
There's no name. There's no names on either.
Yeah. No, the numbers are there, but they're in white as well. So
I'm talking about. There's no names on it either.
Oh yeah. There's no names on. Yeah.
So maybe that's confusing.
I'm not sure. But it has an effect on the fans. You can't see who's who.
Yeah, it does. Here's a bit of a stat that I've looked at for the forwards. So last season, Saka had 7 goals after 20 games. Jesus had 5 goals after 20 games. Martinelli 7, Odegaard 8. Saka had 7 assists. Jesus 6 assists. Martinelli 2 assists. Odegaard 6 assists. This season, after 20 games, Saka is on par as 1 less. So he's 6 goals. Jesus got 3 goals. Martinelli has got 5 less than what he had last year this time. He's got 2 goals. Odegaard has got 4 goals at 8 last year. Saka had 7 assists. It's exactly like he did last year at the same time. Jesus has got 1 assist. Martinelli has got the same amount of assists, 2. And Odegaard has got 2 less in 4 assists. That is the same amount of games played between the 2 seasons. So surely, people say we are short of a striker. But let's get to these guys first. Who of these guys will turn it around? Our defense is putrid. We're leaking goals. We are. Surely, I've put Rice and Saliba in there because they are our main focus in defense per se, but they are part of the culprits that's leaking goals. Rice had an issue with the second goal. I don't know how he got behind. Who was the player that I think it was Luis Diaz or something like that. So Diaz has left him behind. Saliba was very, very shaky in 2 games in a row, which is against the Fulham and against the Liverpool. And then, of course, Martinelli was in defense. He put his right foot out thinking he's going to stop the ball. How do you defend like that? So these are the players that we are looking up to to change things, which of these guys do you think can make that sort of difference? Because there's a question that I want to go to because Alex has played a question. Yeah.
I mean, I think still Saka and Martinelli will turn it around. I think this break that they're having now in Dubai, bit of recharge, warm weather on their bones, get them to relax, have a little bit of, training time, but, chilled out training as opposed to the cold weather. So I think these two will. As to Saliba, come on, he's allowed to have an off game, right? He had a little bit of he had a bit more errors in the Liverpool game than he did in the Fulham game. So, Rice, well, come on. Rice is perfect. He's been perfect so far. Yes, okay, he got left behind. But come on. He's been brilliant otherwise. And you could see that some of the other players are actually learning his tactics and how to take the ball off a player.
Yeah, I thought he had a good game yesterday, to be honest, Rice, on Sunday. I thought he played well.
Yeah. I mean, I thought
he might have made that mistake, but that's going to happen. I mean, let's not forget, Liverpool are one of the best teams in the world. They ain't no mugs. I think they played us to a T. They did what they had to do. Their tactics worked perfectly. Do you know what I mean? Klopp would be the happiest man in the world. But
I mean, literally, they had hardly how many shots? 5 shots on target.
Is that what they had?
5 or 6. I think it wasn't many. And one goal. No. We gave one, and they got one. So
yeah. I mean, should have gone in 2-0 up at half time, but it's all about impact players, isn't it, Glenwyn? Do you know what I mean? I do feel that they ain't got no one running through the middle that's being direct. It's all going out wide. I kept seeing Odegaard running through, then he would stop and pass it wide. I'm like, he's good enough to take any of them players on.
I think it's more because Liverpool like to play down the middle as opposed to the side. So, him to be doing that, and we know that how Liverpool break, and they break in a line. So
they look dangerous. Second half down the left, I think they ran us ragged. We were quite lucky. Not, Liverpool could have scored earlier, but I don't know. Do you know, Glenwyn? I don't think you could ask too much more of them players Sunday. I think it's all a confidence thing. They're all questioning themselves.
Yeah.
When they're coming off, who's giving them the pep talk? Come on, lads, all right. Because it happens, you know what I mean? There's games, anyone that's ever played football, you can go and lose a game 1-0, but you play the team off the park. Or you can lose 2 or 3-0 when you play the team off the park. Sometimes it happens, but now it's happened 3 times on the spin. Not so much Fulham. We probably deserve to, lose that one. But there's an issue, and this is where I think the man management thing needs to improve. Someone needs to give them fellas a nug. I know they're all hugging in the middle of the field and all that lot, but they need a proper come on, lads. Stop feeling sorry for yourselves. Get on with it. Same again, because most of the season they've justified where they are. They're at the top of the league. They've done all right. And if you all of a sudden you start to have a couple of bad games, you start going, well, no, he shouldn't play there. He shouldn't play there. Switch it around. I think that's when you kind of give yourself headaches. And
I don't know. Go on, John. Go on.
No, sorry, see, another thing.
No, go.
What does frustrate me, the substitutes are never done quick enough for me. And Sunday, pointless substitutes with what's his name? ESR coming on for 3 minutes. He don't want to come on.
That's a waste.
No one wants to come on. Different if he was a striker and he can quickly run up and get that goal, but he ain't going to make no difference. So I just don't get the point sometimes of what they're actually doing. But player-wise, honestly, I think they're 80% there, and whether they can get the other 20% to improve, that's the major factor. I don't know.
Here's a question from Alex Sima. What happened to John? Here's a question from Alex, and he's asking, and I thought of this also earlier today, this afternoon when I set up and asked, is Granit Xhaka really missed in this team?
No, because Granit Xhaka was irreplaceable. You know, we can't bring, you know, someone exactly like him into the team to play exactly like him, because there isn't one. You know, he was unique, and yes, he did a great job. I missed his you know, his escapades, his silly little you know, rants, and you know, Arteta, you know, chasing him. But no, I don't think so. I don't think he's been missed, because the team here is good. It is good. It's just, and also like look at what we're looking at. 2 league games, FA Cup, right? So maybe they didn't want to win the FA Cup. Maybe he wants to now. It's one less competition. He's got the Champions League in sight. I don't know. I'm talking out loud. It's not what I'm, you know, it's just me talking out loud.
I agree with you there. Do they take it that seriously? Same every season. Do they? That FA Cup, all right,
Yeah.
it won in COVID.
But there is the notion and the narrative that the manager needs to get silverware. Whether it's the FA Cup, whether it's the Carabao Cup, or whatever it might be, he needs to get silverware.
But when you weigh up, Glenn, FA Cup, Champions League, which shall we concentrate on? Where's the more money?
There's no guarantee in Champions League. There's no guarantee in league. So if you don't win points in the league, you lose out. If you don't win your knockout stages, you lose out. So at the end of the day, every cup is a possibility of winning it. So therefore, I have the notion and the idea of being in as many cups as possible you can. That is the time that you give everybody a run, because at the end of the day, as these players stay fit when they're on the pitch, you can't stay fit when you're on the bench. You can't stay fit on the bench. So the more tournaments you are sort of focusing on, the better for your squad depth, because then you can see where is the issues. Because if there's so many people, a lot of fans are saying, yes, we don't focus on the FA, we don't focus on the Carabao Cup, we have to win the league. You can't jump and forget about the things that matters. There's a thing that says, if you're faithful in the little, you will be ruler over much. So you gotta be faithful in those small little responsibilities before you can be an achiever of a bigger thing. So the focus is, the priority of that particular thing in my eyes is wrong. You gotta first crawl before you can walk. So I get all of that, but that's just where I'm at. So at the end of the day, is you can't not, as a manager or as a team or as a club, can't not have focus on those small little trophies.
Yeah, but Glenn, that's because we're fans. We're not running the club. We're not managing the club. And the club is a business. So it's there to make money and to bring excitement to the fans. If you ask any Arsenal fan, they're going to say, yeah, okay, we won the FA Cup. Well, you ask the other ones, oh, right, is that it? You won the FA Cup. What happened to the Champions League?
But you do get money for it, isn't it?
Yeah, but you won't get as much as you'd get for the Champions League.
Exactly my point. If you are faithful in the little bit of pounds or whatever,
it doesn't matter. In business, it doesn't matter. In business, it's just a big bucks that matter.
I get where you're coming from, Glenwyn, and I totally agree. But you lot laugh at me when I say the Carabao Cup, Mickey Mouse Cup. They don't care about that. They don't give two hoots about that cup.
No,
they're getting
it.
And that is the problem. That's the wrong mentality to have. But hey, that is just unfortunate.
Business. Don't get every fan wants a day out at Wembley or in a cup final, wherever it is. We all want that. They don't. So you're preaching to the wrong people. People like Arteta and Kroenke, they ain't bothered about the FA Cup. Yeah, they get a few quid out of it, a bit of publicity. Champions League, yeah, they want that. That is
exactly.
But on the other hand, if you win small trophies, that also builds confidence on the player side. So if players are getting to win, that is my point. So that's a managing problem. That's a managing problem.
No, but what happens? Glenn, what happens
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt, but what happens if you're in an FA Cup match, okay, and your players get injured? He can't play in the Champions League game. What then?
That's why you have to build a squad, and that's where you're gonna get into the various cups. Because, like I said, a player sitting on the bench, he'll get stiff. He's warmed up. Now he's sitting on the cold. He's not getting that muscles training, the muscle memory, all those type of technicalities in your body. You need to have a consistent rotation situation, because if you don't have, because he's made promises about, I mean, we've spoken about the Ramsdale and about the Raya. The reason why I brought in Raya is to rotate the two. He has never done it. The same with the other players. So you need to rotate the players in order for them to have that memory, their bodies to have that muscle memory, their bodies to have all those sort of routines. So you can't do that when you're sitting on the bench. ESR has been fit for how long? He's not getting a look in.
Ramsdale play again. That's probably his last game this season, because
probably.
They're out of the cup now. He was obviously. I was surprised he played Sunday, to be quite honest. But
yeah,
I'll be shocked if he plays again. In my opinion, I hope he does.
He will against Brentford the next round. So let's go to the chat quickly before we go to our next segment. Get Glenwyn, John, and Seema. We have a pretender, yes. I'm not too sure what you mean by that, Colin. The great pretender, is that's what you're talking about? Oh, my, dumping cups is okay. Okay, there's another narrative there. Xhaka would have brought some calmness and leadership skills. Yes, you probably would. Anything about that, John? I mean, I'm not sure if it's you. I think you were a big fan of Xhaka, isn't it? You always called him a legend.
Well, I used to always have a laugh with Alex. Legend. When he had his head screwed on, he was a great player.
Exactly. That is it.
Always,
you hit the nail on the head.
He was a liability, weren't he? He was a live wire. We
haven't enjoyed it as well.
We haven't. Well, maybe we have missed him in some parts, but is it a good way or a bad way? You know, he got the. But I was sad to see him go. I will admit, I would like to see him stay. Has he been replaced? I don't think he has, to be honest with you. I can't see he's come on and done better than him. But
and on that, Seema, I think Arteta has tried his utmost to make that role Havertz's role, and you can't even compare the two, because Xhaka is more of a robust player than Havertz ever will be.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't think he has been replaced yet.
No, I think so many games in now, Havertz should be having the confidence and going for it, but he is still very hesitant. And Xhaka, he would never have been hesitant. He would just dive in. That's one thing that we could, count on from Xhaka, was that.
Yeah, he didn't think too much about what he did. He just did it.
Yeah, he just did it.
Yeah. If you go back to Havertz, right?
Yeah.
Arsenal shouldn't be buying players that ain't got no confidence anyway. They should be buying players that are ready. You go and buy a car, you don't buy it with a flat tyre or something's wrong with the engine, do you? Do you know what I mean?
No, you don't.
You want that man up and running. So it was always a bit of a gamble with Havertz. What was the point of it? What was the point of the gamble? Unless Xhaka was so sure he was going and they had no one else. I don't get it. And I'm a supporter of Havertz, support the man in the shirt, but as Seema said, halfway through the season now, no excuses.
He's
getting paid enough money to do what he's paid to do.
True.
Get on with it.
Winning breeds winning, losing breeds losers. Exactly what I'm saying. So if you win a small cup, I mean, look, there's some feedback on the mic. If you look how they celebrated winning the Shield, that is how they sort of build confidence. You know what I mean? So having to win a Carabao Cup or FA Cup should really mean something. Pretender is managing the club. Okay, I hear what you say. Colin,
Yeah,
Colin
I
doesn't
totally
like
agree
that
with all that,
chatting.
Glenn Wynn, but in reality, Arteta won't say that to your face because he don't want. If he says, "Oh, I'm not really interested in the Carabao Cup," fans ain't going to turn out and watch it, are they? So he can't say that. But
Yeah, I can't.
in his
No.
mind, he knows. I bet if he off the mic, he would tell you straight, "I'm not bothered about that Carabao Cup. Good luck to the young lads if they can win it, but we're not bothered. Champions
Yeah.
League, Premier League is his priority. The FA
Yeah.
Cup is a bit of a bonus. The Carabao Cup, forget it." But
Yeah. So yes,
I
the
don't agree. That's right. That's just the facts.
yeah. So let's go to who might be the answer to our prayers. I'm not even sure if there is any.
No.
What about these lads? One of them the answer.
I can only name Ivan Tony. Who's the other two fellas?
That's Dominic Solanke and of course our own Leandro
Our
Trossard.
own Trossard, yeah.
That is
Yeah.
Trossard, right? Robbie Williams, he looks like to me, yeah. Well, Gab, I was reading about this guy Solanke now, and Thierry Henry, very highly rated, isn't he? He
Yeah.
thinks he could be the answer. I've not seen
Mm.
him, but I did read up about him, and yeah, he looks a great player. They all look great on paper. Like
No. That's not on paper. He's actually on form.
Yeah, well, that's what I say.
He's very on
Thierry
form. And
Henry recommends him. That's good enough for me. I don't know too much about him, so he's
if
obviously
he
not a
leaves
must.
if he leaves Bournemouth, I think Bournemouth gets relegated because he is that pillar in the Bournemouth side. I think he's got what 8 goals now in the Premier League already. So, and he's scoring against the top teams. He scores against United. He scored against Liverpool. In fact, I think he almost had a couple of chances against us as well, but we won them 5-0, I think, or something to that effect. So yeah, one of these guys needs to be the answer. Ivan Tony, I don't think he's gonna come because Brentford has nobody to run their show for them.
Well,
So
I just
Seema,
don't think Arsenal will buy him, Glenn, to be honest with you.
do we look at Trossard? Because Trossard is not getting a look in at all.
I don't think he's our saviour. I think if he's our saviour, then we are in trouble. Yeah, he's a good player, but it's not on his head alone. he's not the playmaker we need. In my
Okay,
what's the price on Solanke?
It's something close to about 50 upwards, 60 around there.
Well, that's a good price because I think 100 million is way too much for Ivan Tony.
Yeah,
it is. It's miles too much for him, but
yeah, sitting out for 8 months.
Solanke is 22 or 23 years old.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean,
maybe it'd be worth spending that money, but not 100 million. No way. I think that just wait OTT for Ivan, and there's no guarantee that he's going to come back as he was on form. Prior him being banned, and and also does he fit the Arsenal way? Does he fit the way the Arsenal team play? Does he even fit in with Arsenal? Right now, I don't think they're going to sign anybody. It doesn't seem like it. And I mean, 50, 60, yeah, that's fine. Spend that kind of money, but not 100. Not worth it.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing that I have in my mind. I spoke about earlier about making decisions. If we have all these chances and we can't score, yes, that is one of the problems that we have. Should we get in a striker, the decision making that we have, will the ball get to those strikers to get to score the goals, because I mean, if we can't make a simple pass in the box, because they're talking about our touches in the box, where is that going to help us scoring goals? If we can't cross a ball to a player of our own, how can
Yeah.
we cross a ball to a prolific
striker.
striker, or
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So again,
Yeah.
our decisions are not the decisions that we should make. We need to first understand what it is that we need to do before we can. Yes, we need a striker to score goals, but if the players that's currently there can't get the ball to a number 9 or a false 9 or a wide player, then we are in trouble, and that's just the reality.
Glenn, we ask you a question, right? How comes you never put Eddie's picture up on that? He's meant to be our number 1 centre forward, and not just.
I took Eddie off here because Eddie is not getting a look in to start anyway, because you know what, the manager is looking at Havertz ahead of Eddie. So I think if he had really wanted to start Eddie on Sunday, he would have, because Eddie is our top. Eddie is our top goal scorer. So, and
that's only because
you know,
he got a hat trick, not because anything else. Come on.
Yeah, but he's our top goal scorer. So he's got an eye for goals. I mean, he's got a better goal rate than Jesus.
Listen, Glenn, this all goes back right now. Eddie was given that Thierry Henry 14 shirt. Big him up. Yeah, come on, you're the best thing. You can do this, Eddie. Right? Now they've stripped him right back. How does that make him feel? How does his teammates feel? Wait a minute. Eddie's not number 1 now. So everything.
No, but don't you think, John, that's wrong? Don't you think that's wrong?
It is wrong.
Because
it is wrong.
Because as a number 14, he should have stepped up way beyond the point of where he stepped up. He hasn't proven that he's a number 14. He's not proven that he's up for wearing that number.
I totally agree with you, Steamer. What I'm saying is, right,
they gave it to him not to let him go, because at that time he wanted to leave, and that's why they gave it to him.
Should have gone.
But what I'm saying, since then, right, now Arteta, his word can't be trusted, because we've put you up front, we've bigged you up. Now take a back seat now. All them players in their mind, they think, when's that going to happen to me? We have a run of poor form. To be honest,
but then
Eddie ain't had that
look
many
at the
games.
opposite side. Look at the opposite to that. If it's happening to one player, then the other should buck up and say, right, we don't want to have that. We need to be consistently at the top. But it's not happening. Why is it not
happening to everybody? And here's the question on that. Alex is asking why the big change compared from the last season. Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, and Jesus on fire last season. And I just had the stats on. I read the stats on those front lines. So I would understand if it's 1 or 2 players, but it's the complete front line. So there is a problem. There's a problem there. It's either an instruction problem, it's either a comprehension problem from the players, or it is the players are now fed up, as you say, Seema. They don't want to step up, so they want to play against the manager. Is that maybe the question, John? Do they want to play the Arteta out? Is that maybe one what they want to do?
I don't know. Maybe I don't really know, Alex. I think there's a problem in the team, like you say, communication, etc., confidence. Let's just say they won 2-0 against West Ham, right? We wouldn't here be talking about this. They'd just be carried on, you know, because they didn't play badly. They done everything. Arteta couldn't do no more apart from put that ball in the net for them. Now that's happened 3 times in a row. The ball's not gone in the net, so they've got a psychological problem, haven't they? Why ain't that ball going in the net? I
don't think it's player manager problem. I don't think it's that.
No, what do you think?
No, I don't. Something is the problem.
There is something, but it's not player manager problem. No.
And here's the follow up.
coaching,
follow-up.
player manager. Not
He's-
putting the ball in the net is the main one. Do you know what I mean? If they took their chances, we wouldn't be talking about this.
Is Arteta under pressure,
Can't carry on.
or he's safe no matter what happens this season? I think his job is still secure. I don't think he's got a problem with his job.
Well, that's the problem.
That's gonna stay the same.
Heat down his
Yeah,
neck.
yeah.
Yeah, so I don't
I mean,
think
look-
he's under pressure that way.
Well,
If
he
Eric
should-
Ten Hag can keep his job, and look what's happening there, Arteta is surely safe.
Yeah, sure, for sure.
Well,
Yeah.
that's all wrong. I'm not saying sack the guy, but you shouldn't have a comfortable ride because
Yes,
he's got a shock coming. If he wins nothing this season, he's going to have a lot of fans turn against him. And in my eyes, rightly so, because he's got us
Okay.
80% of the way there, and they ain't. If they don't build on that, they've got a problem.
But then they need to look at and saying, well, I'm going to put the 150 million in from my own money into the club, and let's go get the player. If you want the player, let's go get the player. I mean, that is what Abramovich did with Chelsea. If the manager said, I want that player, he gave the player to the, irrespective of how much it cost. If you didn't,
They don't run it like
if-
Abramovich, you know what I mean?
if you-
I get what
if
you're
you
saying,
did-
Abramovich was a fan. They're running it, as Seymour said, it's a business. They ain't going to do that. They've got it all calculated what they're going to.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, if you are gonna back the manager in what he does, the fans is gonna have to come up and put pressure on them, because at the end of the day, we have
Yeah, I agree.
we have the pounds to pay for whatever we are. I mean, you guys are season ticket holders, isn't it, or something to that effect? So
Not me.
you're paying,
No, I'm
you,
not.
or
I'm just
Seema,
a-
you are going to a lot
Yeah.
of games, though, surely.
Yeah.
You're paying a lot of money for that. I mean, how many
Mhm.
of you are there with those type of tickets? So we are paying our sort of way into. So somewhere the fans has to come to a party and say, Arteta must do this, otherwise, da 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 da. Yes, sorry, I've forgotten that. There's another question for Seema. Is Arsenal better than Liverpool and Man City? No
How
pressure.
dare you? How dare you? Even ask that question.
No pressure.
We are far the superior team, okay?
Oh, wow.
Look, it says it on the badge. Look, you know.
For the love of
honestly,
Peter.
But honestly, this from last season to this season, yeah, a little bit of difference in the form, but we've gone toe to toe with them,
Yeah,
and we
there's
didn't do that 2 seasons ago.
No,
Yeah.
So we are going toe to toe with them. So,
But
you know,
the question
we have
is-
stepped up.
The question is, are we better?
Oh, we better.
We've
We
improved
can
against
be.
them.
We can. We've improved. If we finish, we're definitely far better.
If we win them, we are better, obviously.
Yeah.
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 No, even if
we
we
beat them,
if we
we're
finish
better
them,
than them.
yeah, we're better than
Yeah.
them. That's
At
it.
the moment,
You know.
facts are we ain't. That's we got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
For the love of Pete,
capability.
who exactly is responsible for consistent team deficiency then? I think that is a question to you, John.
Say that again, Glenwyn. Sorry, mate.
For the love of Pete, Colin says, now who exactly is responsible for a consistent team deficiency then, if it's not the manager?
It is. Everything is on Arteta's head. His team has got to deliver it, and Odegaard's the captain. He's got to make sure the instructions are carried out. I think the last 3 games they probably have carried out the instructions, apart from scoring. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just happens. You can't put that ball in the net. There's no rhyme or reason. I mean,
So-
the one that hit the underside of the bar, that was so unlucky. If that goes in, you know, Arsenal, good chance.
Different game.
Don't lose that game.
So I'm saying there is some sort of consistency. You can't score for the lack of a better word, or you can't win games and you just don't finish off. So that's the consistency, isn't it?
Well, they were
I mean-
consistent up to the West Ham game, weren't they? Then it's all gone pear-shaped, you know.
Yeah.
As a team, they couldn't do no more in my eyes. But now it's panic stations because they ain't won
Yeah,
the
but
game.
the table doesn't lie. Of course, the
Sure.
table
Huh?
doesn't lie. But you know,
No.
it's a very competitive season this season.
Yeah, it
know,
is,
As I
yeah.
said
Who would have
last
thought
week,
Villa would be up there? You know, Spurs.
Well-
Well, look, no one's complaining. Spurs were top of the league, right, early
No.
on in the season, and now they're back down there. No one's talking about that. No one's talking about
Because-
City losing.
I said last season, Seema, if they don't
Yeah.
win that league, that might be the only opportunity they get.
Yeah.
And they had a fantastic opportunity last season to win it.
Yeah.
They've still got a chance to win it now. Of course, they're
Yeah,
up there.
they
They're
have.
up there. They're mixing it with everyone. There's no
Yeah.
reason they can't not win it.
We
But
just need that fighting spirit. That's all. That
they need goals.
more than
bad.
that fighting spirit. Just that step up.
They
Yeah,
need
so
goals.
Yeah.
so I'm gonna go to the last segment, guys. In the next 10
Yeah.
minutes, my power is gonna go off. So
Same
I'm gonna
What is going on?
I'm gonna have to get this in there. So
Yeah.
this is what I think needs to be done. We need to win our next games.
Yeah.
This is what we've lost. We've lost our
Mm.
last 3 games, and
Yeah.
then we've got the next 5 games. We need to have 6 home points and 9 away points. Can that be done?
Yeah.
So we're
Well, we've
playing.
got Palace next, haven't we?
We're
Got
playing
Palace,
Palace at home.
and then yeah.
All right, let's just check. Arsenal fixtures.
Yeah.
We've got Palace at home. We've got Forest away,
Forest away, yeah.
and we've got
And then we've got another home game, Liverpool at home.
Liverpool at home, West Ham and Burnley away.
Yeah.
So for the next 5 games, we have to get 15 points if we have a chance.
Yeah.
Is it possible?
It is possible, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is possible, but
Yeah.
they need a big shake-up.
Mm.
Because
Yeah.
if you
All
look
them
at that
teams they can beat.
last 3, we've conceded 6 goals.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's only in 3 games. In the prior games to that, we've conceded another 6 or 7. So it's almost 14, 15 goals that we've conceded
Mm.
in 6 matches. So that's a very, very big concern.
Poor, yeah, very poor.
Mm.
Who's that down to?
That's to this guy that's on that picture there. He's keeping his head and he's biting his nails. Not sure what is he gonna do. He's
He's
gone
not
to
biting his nails. Stop it.
I'm just
I'm only
putting a
joking.
bit of exaggeration there.
Exactly.
They gone to Dubai, so they're doing warm weather training.
Hard life, isn't it? What an hard life. You got to feel sorry.
Well, honestly
for them.
speaking, I didn't think he needed to take the families with them. So honestly, they
Yeah,
had
look,
them with the
he's,
at
he's,
Christmas.
he's, he's
and
taking
that,
he's
so,
taking the guys away from their comfort. So surely,
yeah,
just to give them some sort of relaxation after training with the family and get their minds sorted. The family, I think, is probably more of a support system. That's
well, I
from,
don't
from
think Dubai is the place to go and relax. Then,
Yeah, and look, I mean, you're gonna go there to train mostly, so having your family there as the support, that is probably the idea. Whether it's gonna happen that way, I'm not sure. So you gotta give something to make something of the next couple
Yeah.
of games. I mean, we only
Yeah.
have 18 Premier League games left.
Mhm.
We have to
If they
get
come back and lose, they're in serious trouble, Alex. The fact they will feel the heat from the
Yeah.
fans. If
Yeah,
they
they
come
will
back
do.
and get off to a bad start, no one's going to have a bit of sympathy for them, including
Yeah.
me.
They
Yeah.
can't draw any games. They have to win those games because
Mm.
Crystal Palace is
have
going to
to.
be a tough game at home. Nottingham Forest with the new manager at home is doing pretty well, so that's going to be
Yeah.
a bit of a problem. Our
They're all
Liverpool
tough
game,
games, aren't they?
yeah, Liverpool at home. We know we can play against Liverpool. All we
Yeah.
have to do is just get a
Oh,
goal.
we
Yeah.
can beat them.
West Ham away is going to be a tough call.
Tough one, yeah.
Very hard.
And of
Yeah.
course, Burnley away
Burnley.
is going to be a tough one.
Well, we beat them. We beat them.
I think we'll beat them, but we get too complacent with the lower teams.
Well, there's
It's
no
just
mugs, is there?
psychologically we get. Ben White is
Yeah.
tanning.
There's no mugs. I've disrespected some of these teams, and we've come quite bad. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
you can't take any game as a given. You're as good as your last game.
Ooh.
Our
Yeah,
last
you are.
game was poor.
Yeah,
So-
true.
Yes, the scenario that I have in my mind. We've lost Saliba the latter end of last season after a poor run of games. I think it was 3 or 4 games of poor runs. We've lost Jesus this time of the season, the latter end of the season, after a couple of poor games. Now, very controversial. I've got this type of mindset, controversial mindset.
Oh,
No
yeah, we know that, don't
controversy.
we? Oh, no controversy there.
Who's making these type of decisions? Is it a genuine injury? Is it something to do with the Cronkies?
That is
Is
it.
it the manager? Is it the player? Is it the coaching staff? Is it the medical staff? Who is making these things happen? Because last year, the end of last year, I had a scenario where somebody in the team has bottled the league for us, because running up to those couple of games, there were so many unforeseen things that happened. Now again, a impact player is injured, and there's probably a long-term injury. So is there corruption happening, John?
I wonder who you're talking about.
I don't know.
Corruption.
Does it begin with a T and a P? TP?
There's definitely corruption in football, mate, but that's another story.
In the club I'm talking about.
Do you know what, Alex? I think
Glenn.
there is. I think some of these agents and coaches are too intertwined with the players, got too much to say for themselves. It's like, get this player. I think there is backhanders involved. I don't want to say too much because, it's on there, isn't it? But, I 100% do feel that let's just go to the keepers, for instance.
So
keeping
my conclusion on that thought is somebody is gambling with our season.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody is gambling with our season. I don't know who it is.
We just,
Well, money-wise, I don't know about that. Tony ain't over it yet, is he? We ain't got
No,
it
no.
yet. But I
So
think regards to who buys the players.
Let it mull in your mind. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can think of. So that's possibilities that
Do you know,
it's like
is out there.
I'll tell you
Why
something.
is it by the second half of the season something's happening to derail us from a possible chance?
Glenn,
Something is happening. So,
I think when this guy Steve Brown left, he was like a very respected coach at Arsenal for a long time. I think a lot of that sort of affected a lot of things on and off the pitch. He'd been there for a long, long while. Players, academy people, all respected him. And if you go back to the Pepe scenario when we bought him, dodgy dealings, and I still think that goes on in the club. It's got stamped out somehow because I
was listening to a podcast, John. Sorry to interrupt, by the way. And in the podcast, they were talking about would you take a red card if you know you had to go somewhere or you had a family function to do or there's something
oh my
important?
word.
Yeah. And they said, no, I don't think we would have done that. But you never know who would have.
You don't.
The thing is, these players, how do you motivate them? They're all millionaires. They're all young lads. They've got everything. They've seen everything. They've done everything.
Yeah.
How do you motivate them? It takes a hell of a lot to get them going, you know. Whatever happens, they're still going to get paid.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing, John. At the end of the day, we've touched on so many things that can go wrong with players, but there is something with somebody that has got power for
Oh,
these
yeah.
things to happen. So somebody must. I mean, it's the second season consecutively. In fact, the third season
We're
consecutively
dropping away.
where
Yeah.
we bottled a fourth place, a league, and now we're on the same path.
Well, you seem to fizzle out in the second half, don't we? This is my worry. If
Exactly.
we don't improve on what we get, we're going to fall flat on our faces. As simple as that. I'll put my money on it. And I said we
Yeah.
win the league, but if we
Yeah.
don't improve, forget it.
Mm.
And you
And
know,
in the other, go on. No, go on, John. Finish off.
I was going to say, regards corruption in football, of course it's going on. It's probably going on right now at Arsenal. You can trace it back. It's always gone on. It's not just a new thing. So I'm not going to mention any names. I think if you're an Arsenal fan, you know all well too much of what's gone on in the past. You know what I mean?
No. Well, there's got to be more for
so
the players.
that's it, eh?
You know, yeah.
You know, we've had certain managers disappear, haven't we? You know, it's always gone on.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So, guys, that has been the Tuesday night show for the first time this year after a long layoff.
Yeah.
Thank you, Seema. Thank you, John. We have
you for having me.
2 weeks off. We're not playing this weekend. We're not playing midweek next week and next week. So we've got 2 weeks to recover, 2 weeks to train, 2 weeks to prepare, and 2 weeks to come back and come
motivate
back strong.
And get motivated.
Yeah. No
and forget
excuses,
about
Arsenal. No excuses.
Yes.
Get straight up and running.
Yes.
and forget about the gambling.
Nah.
Let's just put it in there.
Yes. Yes. We're the Arsenal.
Anyway,
we don't do that.
We don't know. So,
I'll have a bet on it.
Anyway, guys, thanks a lot for your time. Thanks a lot again, John,
Thank
Seema. It was always nice to have you guys. Seema,
Great
please
coming on.
speak to your lady friends. They need to come onto the show.
I will.
Yes, the more the
Something.
merrier. More. Listen, ladies, right? Forget that fella Joey Barton. He talks out of his hat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just
Girl power.
forget him.
We've got to
He's
show it in
a
numbers.
dinosaur. 99% of us blokes support women in football. Just don't know no to that idiot.
Exactly.
And there's also WSL, I think, this weekend.
Yes, there is. Yeah.
So I think the next show we will touch on those games again.
Yeah.
And do some research, John.
I will do. Yes. I can't lie. I'm not very up on the women's football. I do support it, but I just ain't got the time for all this stuff.
You don't. Yeah. Anyway, people, that was Cannon Fodder, hosted by Glenwyn Guna Matters, the Gunner Guy. Thank you. Enjoy. Be blessed and be safe.
Up the Gunners.
There you go. Love